Hello friends, welcome to another interesting session of cpp5.com. Here we mostly discuss interview questions you might face during C++ technical interview. My today's pick would be write a program in C that won't compile in C++. This is one of the most frequently asked questions, and what the interviewer expects here is whether the candidate is actually aware of the difference between C and C++ code. So let's quickly move into the topic. Here I have two files, one compiles in C and one compiles in C++. So the first difference is, in C++ it is a compiler error to call a function before it is declared, but in C it may compile. So we can see an example of this. Here we have an int main function and then we are calling a function inside it, and this function is declared over here and it prints hello. So let's compile this and see what happens. It gives a compilation error. What is the error? Function was not declared in the scope. Why this is happening is because this function declaration is below int main. So let's quickly move this above the int main and now compile. It compiles properly. So the first point is quite evident enough. Now let's see this in C compilation. We have the same declaration over here below the int main function which prints hello, and here is the caller. Let's build this. It compiles properly, but though it gives a warning saying conflicting type for function. But then when you run this, it prints properly the hello. So next point that is the difference that you can point out to an interviewer is, in C++ a const variable cannot be assigned to a normal pointer, but it is allowed in C. As you know, const variables are declared with const keyword. So here I have a const keyword. Here I have const int p equal to 10. Now I create a normal pointer and assign this const keyword to it. Let's see how it compiles. It throws an error. It says that invalid conversion from constant to int. Now let's see the same thing in C code. I simply copy this. Let's build this. It compiles properly, though it gives an error. Initialization discards const qualifier from point target type, PTR target type, but still it is not an error. So this is the second difference you can point out to your interviewer. Let's go to the third difference. A void pointer in C++ cannot be directly assigned to any other pointer. Explicit typecasting is needed. So let's quickly see this. I have a void pointer, then I have an int pointer, and I'm quickly assigning this void pointer to this int pointer. What do you think would be the output? Let's see. It does not compile properly. It says invalid conversion from void star to int star. So the third point is quite evident enough. Explicit typecasting is needed in this case. So let's do an explicit typecasting over here. Let's remove the older error that we have and then compile. It compiles properly. So here an explicit typecasting is required. The same thing let's do in C code. Here you don't need an explicit typecasting. The compiler internally does an implicit typecasting. So this will build properly. See, it builds properly. So this is the next point you can show to your interviewer, that this is the difference between C++ and C code. The next point is, a constant variable should be definitely initialized in C++, but it is not required in case of C. that we saw before itself. Here we had declared a constant variable. Now let's remove this 10 out of this constant variable and see whether this compiles in C++. It gives an error, uninitialized const p. So here we definitely need to put a value to a const int variable. Let's build this again, and it throws no error. Let's go to the C code and try the same. I'm just removing 10 and trying to build this. It throws no error. So this is allowed in C, but it's not allowed in C++. The next thing that comes into the notice is, in C++, it is a variable. If a variable is a keyword, it does not compile, but in C it does. So a variable is a keyword. So what we can do is we can put int new equal to 10. New is a keyword, as you know, in C++, but it is not a keyword in C. And this applies to C also. If you try to put a variable which is a keyword in C, it will not compile. So this is a lame difference that you can say, but though it is a correct difference, you can still say it. So let's build this. It gives an error saying expected unqualified ID before new. This is because a new is a keyword in C++. Let's try the same in C. Let's build this, and it throws no error. So this is the fifth difference. Let's go to the last and foremost difference. Here we say a function with no parameter is treated differently in case of C and C++. Now here you have a function declaration, void function, and this in C++ is equivalent to void function void. But the same function in C is equivalent to void function void, or a void function with as many arguments as you want. What do you mean by that is, here you have a void function with no argument, and I'm showing you in C first this time. So in this function, when I put 10 and then say John Doe, these are two arguments passed when the function has no arguments. Let's see whether it compiles. It compiles properly. But in case of CPP, it strongly says that void function void is the definition for this. So let's see whether it takes in some argument over here. Let's build this. See, you get an error, too many arguments to the function. So these are the 6 differences you can point out to your interviewer when he asks you this question. Now one more important point I would like to add into the third point which I explained, that is, a void pointer in C++ cannot be directly assigned to any other pointer. Explicit typecasting is needed. So one more point that you can add is, if you know malloc keyword in C, malloc returns a void pointer. So here in C++, explicit typecasting of the return type of malloc should be taken care, but in C it is not required. That's all, folks. If you like this video, please subscribe. Also do suggest in the comment section the questions or concepts you would like me to discuss in my next videos. Thank you.